Hi everyone, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hope you've all had a wonderful day and we've got some great things to talk about. We're getting the video up a little bit late today, but nothing has moved at all really, so we haven't missed out on anything. Quick little look today, we saw big swings in the market. As you can see, the sell in May is definitely a strong one. Sell in May and go away, and now that's what it looks like we've seen so much of. Although the Dow did recover, it was down quite a bit today and it did end up recovering to about 26 points in the negative, S&P only about 3. Gold, we're going to look at the gold chart. That's ridiculous. And oil has recovered just a little bit as well. It was down in the 85s and it ended up closing mid 86 there. So pretty decent. As far as news goes today, we have manufacturing PMI coming out of China. The big news, though, is definitely coming into tomorrow. We have manufacturing PMI out of the UK. We have retail sales out of Switzerland. And then we've got the GDP out of Canada at the same time that we'll have the US job reports. So that 5:30 a.m. Pacific hour is going to be quite busy. So just kind of be prepared for that. And then we have the ISM also just a little bit after that. So it's going to be a pretty busy day tomorrow in the scheduling side of things. Just a little quick, actually, let's look at this daily chart here. You can see that the dollar index is really just holding on there strong. Very little pullback, lots of good trend above that major resistance at 82 still, and just hanging in there. So we've got that going on. There's not a whole lot to look at right here except for a few little things. The euro's been totally sideways. We grabbed some nice pips out of this this downward movement here, and that worked out. So we grabbed some of that this morning, and now things are just kind of sitting sideways. And I'll tell you, I'm not expecting much movement before the UK, or excuse me, before the US job reports come out tomorrow. And the euro is definitely sitting on the bottom of this channel. You can see it's not coming up into any major resistance at this point. It's kind of, or excuse me, support. It's kind of beyond that, and it's just kind of working its way down, hopefully into this 120 area. But we can definitely see that it's got a little ways to go to get to the bottom of the channel. And I like this little area right here. You can see this is about 123, 55-ish is probably safe to say. An open below this level, I think, will give us probably a quick little 20 pip run. Nothing too much, nothing too crazy, but about a 20 pip run below that level. So I'm going to be looking for that to kind of happen as we go and see if we can get a nice little movement coming up on that one. And so once again, just a little open below this 123.55, and even just a sell trade where it's currently sitting, I think is okay. We can have some stops pretty close by, about 20 pips above this daily pivot, above about that 123, 75, 80 area. And like I said, just looking for a quick profit there of 20 to 25 pips. So I think that'll be a good little run. Pound dollar, the pound dollar is interesting. This is actually a little bit of a reversal pattern that it's worked on here. This, the level that it's sitting at just about right here, which is 154.00, was a pretty important one, and it just didn't seem to worry about it too much this morning. And in fact, it tanked right through it, but pulled all the way back up and got nicely above it at about 154.30. So here's a couple of things I'm looking at. If this doesn't go too much below about 153.80, I think it might be an interesting buy opportunity. This is just a good little reversal pattern right here. The momentum is down strong and everything is down very strong, but if it can kind of stay above this 153.80-ish area, I think that could be an interesting point to get into the trade. Right about there's 80. I have 85 marked on the charts here, but really it's kind of, the 80-85 zone right in that general area is what I'm looking for. And if it can ultimately stops, I would just want to have stops below these lows, obviously here. So if we can get below that, then we're in business with our stops. And I think this could be a nice little kind of retracement move up into this trend line area. Just kind of, even if it gets back up into the daily pivot point, there's lots of good pips there, like 40 or 50 pips. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Otherwise, if this does open below where we saw that the open was having a hard time right in the mid 80s, then that could also be an additional trade back into these lows. So if we get a 1 hour open below this area, then I think we might see just a little bit more downside. I'm only just kind of slightly looking at that reversal trade, and it's going to be a little bit of a risky, tricky one. I think our euro dollar is kind of the better option here, and it's already currently breaking. So just keep an eye on these. Possible reversal trade if it can, not open the 1 hour candle below this 153.80 and then ultimately stay above these lows of 153.60, and just trading it back up into these highs of the last several hours and into that daily pivot point. So that's what I'll be looking for there. Likewise, Euro Yen has just gone completely sideways, and I think this one will be kind of interesting. Just the same kind of deal as the Euro Dollar. We get a little push below about this 96.80, where you can see that the market so far hasn't really been able to open too well below that, and it's more like 96.70, 77, 78. I just want to see if we can get an open below that. I'll take it, and I think that could be a nice little run down there, easy 25 pips into that low. And so I'm going to be looking for that little break to happen. So let's keep our eyes peeled for that. And that should be a good little move there. So keep your eyes on that and ready for that movement. But really, a lot of what we're going to be doing is waiting for the news to hit tomorrow for non-farm payroll, and we'll see how that affects the market. Nothing too much on that pound yen. The Aussie dollar is getting choppy. I'm staying out of the Aussie dollar for probably the next little bit. It's starting to double bottom and bounce on some of these lows right here. Big, strong historic levels, and as it kind of bounces on those, I think it's going to get kind of ugly like it's been over the last several hours. So I'm probably going to stay out of that one and just see if we can get a nice continuation back either through this level or through some of these highs. So we're just going to watch that and see where that goes. But the big one, big important one to watch here, if we're going to sell any of those pairs that I just pointed out, is if gold can get back below this little support here. And this is just about 1560, just 1559, 1560. If we get back below that and we can test that 1550 once again, then I think we've got a nice little run to take some of these other pairs down. So just keep an eye on that. But euro dollar is already starting to move. Let's see if our euro yen's going with it. It's slowly making it there. So I think those are going to be the ones to watch today. Pound dollar will be interesting as well, but I think this euro dollar is just going to be an easy little target down into some of these lows. So that's what we're going to look for. We'll see how these markets pan out, and then excuse me, and we'll be on for the non-farm payroll report live in the chat tomorrow. So we'll see you guys there. Best of luck, and be careful with these markets. We've got more details coming for the UK notes. Thanks, everyone.